the Lake Huron, which is one of the 5 Great Lakes surrounding Michigan. And in the interim of building that pipeline, for 50 years or more prior, we had been getting water from one of the other Great Lakes, well, from the same Great Lake, Lake Huron, but via Detroit, coming through Detroit, purification system, fresh water. When we entered into a bond and was under emergency manager law, that's a form of Michigan law that takes away the democracy, turns it over, the city over to a financial emergency manager. Then the emergency manager and others made a decision to pull water out of the Flint River. If you're going to pull water out of the Flint River, Lake Huron, Lake Erie, Lake Michigan, you must treat it properly. You must put corrosion control and other things in it and purify it right. The water crisis was a temporary pulling of water from the Flint River, not treated properly. So we've been back on Lake Huron water since I think October 2015. Some of the period of time of pulling water out of the Flint River, not treated properly, corroded some of the pipes. Some have been fixed, some have not. So I don't want people to get the wrong impression of the water crisis. Water in Flint prior 50 years or more had been from Lake Huron. Water in Flint now is from Lake Huron. In between, there was a man-made disaster and a mistake trying to pull water from the Flint River, not treated properly.
Mm-hmm. So what is the solution? How can it be fixed, or can it be
fixed?
The
solution was to go back to the Lake Huron water and treat Lake Huron water properly. And then, so I was trying to make that point. And then the solution, once you damage people and kill people and run poison untreated water through the pipes, you have lawsuits and damages that has to be settled, that's being settled. You got prosecutions, criminal prosecutions of certain state officials and other officials who made the decision not to treat it properly, cutting corners, So the solution, as far as going back and treating water properly, that's being done. As far as getting it out of people's mind, whether or not water is safe in Flint as a mental and psychological, and then sometime realistically, there are still some damaged pipes and things that have to be fixed.
So I know you've been in the politics of things for a long time. When it comes to Flint, you were in civil rights first, correct?
I graduated from Michigan State University in 1981. My degree is political science, pre-law. I've attended council meetings since I was an NAACP vice president, political action chair at age 21. I'll be 64 in September. Worked for General Motors for 30 years. I won elections inside the UAW, which is the United Auto Workers, and served. In 2013, I won city council, and I'm in my 9th year.
So who's the longest sitting councilman?
I am right now.
Congratulations. Now, speaking of the council, the lawsuit, they removed you as president illegally.
We'll be in court on that Monday at 2:00 p.m. and the judge will decide whether it was lawful or unlawful. There's a due process procedure. The president is a 1-year elected term, and if you remove an elected or appointed person, you first have to post for a public hearing, have the public hearing, and remove it. We had 6 new council people. They didn't know the procedure. After 5 or 6 months, they put a motion on the floor and voted. That's not the proper way. And so we'll see how that's resolved. This Monday, July the 18th in court. I'm in the middle of an election.
Right. So if you win the court case, do you become get back your presidential position, correct?
I've never not been the president. Okay, so depend on who you talk to. If you talk to you, you'll say back to president. If you talk to me, once elected president, you're the president until removed properly and or your term is up. So depending on who you talk to, you can ask the question your way, I'll answer it my way.
That's perfectly fine. So with that, right, there's been a lot of concern. I talked to a lot of people who live in Flint and and I was like, give me some questions I can ask them. And a lot of the questions I got, this is one of the most common one, is why hasn't the ethics committee taken a more proactive approach to the disrespectful and unprofessionalism on the city council?
Last night, the Ethics and Accountability Board, which is a new board inside the new charter, it was a new charter amended and adopted. They couldn't even get a quorum. And so, that's not the first meeting they couldn't get a quorum. You got people appointed on the board, I guess, who don't take their appointed position seriously. You got some council people with some, in my opinion, serious attendance problems. And so I don't know what's happening down in Texas, but I can tell you exactly what's happening here in Flint, Michigan. And so the voters and the people got to hold certain elected and appointed people accountable. And if it was left up to me, I'd snap my fingers and get rid of some of them and rearrange some things and put people in office who is serious, want to work long hours, want to attend meetings and get stuff fixed. So I think part of the reason they haven't said nothing or done their job in this instance about president, in some cases, they can't even get a quorum.
Right. So one of the biggest things is whenever I watch the meetings, whenever anyone watches the meetings, you and Mr. Murphy, I think maybe they often want one or two meetings where there hasn't been any trouble. There's been a meeting where he stands behind you and like bucks at you and tries to like jump on you. He's, talking about physical altercation. What's the deal there between you two?
I call it ignorance. That's an ignorant person who acts and talks like that. That's a person who been on the council for a few months and want to be more than what he is. A lack of intelligence, understanding, and ignorance, showing off, acting a fool. What other way can I describe it? As far as Mr. Murphy, he's not one of the 5 who voted for me for president. I don't know if it's jealousy, envy, ignorance, wannabe, but I ain't got time for it. I got zero tolerance for foolishness.
Zero tolerance for foolishness. And so I know he and there's the woman that sits next to him.
Councilperson Liddell Lewis.
Okay, yeah. So they always, the little talking and all that during the meetings and stuff like that. The improper uses of point of information. A point of information, as you've taught me, is a question, and you can choose whether or not you want to answer that question. Correct?
Yeah, a point of information based upon our council rules, and in most cases, Robert rules, is a quick inquiry to clear something up the speaker is saying. It doesn't go to anybody, whoever have the floor. Right. A point of information is to that particular speaker, a quick inquiry to clarify, clear something up, or make sure, in a question form, what they're doing. And so it's used improperly by a lot of folks. But for those who really know, that's what it is. And it's a handy tool for not interrupting the speaker and getting a quick inquiry.
Now, you seem like you're very intelligent when it comes to the rules of the city and what needs to be flowing.
Yeah, I'm known for being intelligent when it comes to the rules. My biggest criticism is how I respond to foolishness. My biggest criticism is I'll get loud and passionate. But yeah, I am, up on the rules and procedure and laws.
So why is it just now you're deciding to run for mayor? And what was the big?
I ran for mayor before, and I came in third place. And so now I'm running because under the new charter, I don't have to give up my council seat. Win, lose, or draw, I still got a 4-year term ahead of me. And so this is like a free run for me to test and see how the people of the city of Flint perceive me and do they want to vote for me. I'm running against the current mayor and the former mayor. Only 3 people on the ballot. 2 will make it through the primary and 1 will go home. Will I make it through the primary, or will I be the weakest link in the eyes of those who vote? Usually only about 14, 15, 18% vote. But however many vote, the 2 that get the top 2 vote getters will move forward from August to November.
So do you know about how many votes you'll need to make it past the primary?
I don't know. If I look at the last mayoral election, it was about 14,000 people voted. And the winner won by a 205 vote or so margin. So if you divide 12 or 14,000 evenly in this primary, it might take 3,000-4,000 or so votes to make it through.
So how are you campaigning? How are you? Is it a
word of mouth? Word of mouth has never been done before. Most people get balloons and yard signs and literature, and they pass the literature out. They stick signs in the ground. I haven't spent a dime. Word of mouth. I believe in the city of Flint, Michigan, small city right now after the 2020 census. Flint used to be back in the day about 190,000. Flint's now population is about 80 some thousand. And so I believe that most of the voters, most of the people in Flint, they know who the 3 candidates are, and they're going to vote the way they want. Some will maybe hop on a bandwagon, who got the most signs, who got the most balloons, who, giving out the most ice cream. But my position is there's going to be a bunch of people who's going to vote who they think can do the best job, and they will consciously vote for one of the 3. I'm fixing to get a lot of votes, unless people lying to me.
So when this election, when people started hearing you were running for mayor, these clips started popping up all over TikTok and YouTube. I'm sure you're aware of them. They talk about them in the meetings. And even people like me, I'm on Discord a lot, and we use.
How old are you?
I'm 17.
Well, good for you.
Right. So we use the stuff you tell us, we use all the time. Like if I'm on the phone with someone and they're talking, you out of order. I got the flow. Right.
Point order.
I got the flow. So what is your perception on how the younger generation has really just grasped to you from your clips and stuff?
Yeah, y'all hip to all that TikTok and all of that. I'm not hip to it. I'm old school. I still have my staff and secretaries and stuff print me out a hard copy. You asked me about email and wanted to send the link to this show email. I said, send it text and that type of thing. So y'all got the ups on me. Y'all TikTok, Facebook, email, whatever. I knew I did get hip to Facebook. I ain't hip to TikTok yet. But whoever be putting them clips on, I don't know who doing it.
They're watching right now. The person
they watching right now.
There's something you like to tell them. Go ahead.
That stuff tickles me. The reason it do is because in my 9 years, remember I referred to emergency manager law. I had to seriously make some decisions and implement policy and do finances. We probably do a $200 million budget every fiscal year. And so when I look at some of those clips, because I can go on my TV and see them on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And when I look at some of them clips, I be laughing. I say, now, who did this? But it ain't no clip of me doing budgets. It ain't no clip of me getting emergency managers out. It's some serious stuff, that's been going on. But I do enjoy those clips where a council person and or they'll call the police and fuss and cuss. In real life, I might cuss, but if you look at them clips, I'm passionate, but you ain't hearing no cuss words.
One of our favorite
maybe clips. In one or two cases.
Right. One of our favorite clips that we use all the time is when someone is making us mad. We just throw our hands and say, I'm about to cuss. Well,
at 17, I grew up in the church. My father was my pastor for over 27 years, Pastor Lewis Mays. He died in 2008. But that was my pastor coming up from, elementary school kids. We had to go to church each day. He was a deacon before he was a pastor. So that's what was good for me. If I didn't grow up in church and learn the golden rule and scared to go to the devil and all of that type of stuff, I'd probably be cussing like a sailor. I might be in jail or the penitentiary. So it's good to keep your children in church and raise them with some moral honesty before they get grown and out into this world.
Right. I'm a youth pastor. So when I watch you, and how you bring religion and all that into your stuff, I like it. Right. That's why
I say I'm about to cuss. That mean I'm mad. And then I also say I ain't studying what you're talking about. I do some of that on purpose. I purposely don't always try to talk polite. Oh, I'm not thinking about what you're talking about. Oh, you're making me angry. I don't want to use any obscenities. Sometimes I do on purpose, don't talk proper.
So now this is what I've got to ask. The I ain't studying you. We have been using it. My grandma, she hates it. She hates it. I ain't studying.
You're gonna get put out. You better be cool.
What does it mean? Because we're using it, but we have no idea what the context is.
What I ain't studying you, that kind of means, if I was to translate it, I'm not really thinking about what you're talking about. What you're saying is ignorant and it doesn't affect me. Keep in mind, locally, people are watching. And so I'm really talking to the people more so than that particular council person. And I think that's been a survival tactic for me because I've seen council people come and go. If you look at some of the old council people, it would be 3 or 4 of them say, we want Mays gone. I say, I want you gone.
Right.
And things like, and they be gone, so we've been blessed so far. As far as people interpreting and seeing our struggles and fight. And it's all about trying to serve the public and allocate resources and funds and do the best for the residents I represent.
Now, I want to take a look at this clip and the context of it, right? Is this something that happens normally? I'm not going to show the whole clip, just kind of what starts it. And then the part where the guy walks up.
What to do? I'm gonna tell you what. Okay, well you can get up and walk, and we'll go across the street. We can do that. Okay, whatever you want to do. Y'all.
What that right there, right? Those are the clips that I tell people all the time now. You know what? You can get up and walk, and we can go across the street.
Let me explain. Across the street is the circuit court. The Genesee County Circuit Court, not a fight. So a lot of people, when I say we can get up and go across the street, I was referring to a fight. I'm saying we can take this from the council chambers over into the judge's circuit courtroom, because when there's a dispute of the charter, you go across the street. So clear that up. But that was Attorney Ken Scott. I know him locally. And we had voted to subpoena one of the mayor's chief staff persons. And we were inquiring and asking questions because city council have the right to subpoena people, put them on oath. when he wasn't answering the questions, they end up getting up, leaving. And when they got up and left, then I said out loud so they could hear me, okay, don't answer the questions. We'll subpoena the mayor. Now that got his attention. Then he came back, stood face to face with me and told me he cracked my head.
Yeah, well, okay. So for those of you who need the context of that, we also have the video of that.
Across the street.
He said, get away from me. Let's hear our screen.
You're out of order. Get the hell away from me. Get the hell away from me. You will crack me across my head.
You won't crack me across my head. So that's where the
context. See what that turned into.
Right.
Nobody should approach my seat, and you just stay out there. Don't get mad because now y'all want to leave. I'm gonna subpoena the mayor, and I made a mistake. Now you all up in my face, But he's a friend of mine. I guess it's okay. We know each other, but in that professional capacity, I think he was losing that fight.
Clearly, he was.
You say clearly?
He was clearly. I'll post the full video on my social media.
Hey, let me ask one question before you get off that subject. So when you heard me say go across the street, y'all thought I was talking about fighting now.
Oh, yes.
No, that's what the circuit, because he had the translation,
Because it's just the saying, and it's whatever y'all want to do. This y'all politics, right? That's the course. So everybody,
right.
Mr. Mays he about it, So that's what it was perceived on social media.
No, I'm nonviolent. I'm from the Martin Luther King era.
Okay, and then also the one where Mr. Murphy kind of comes behind you and bucks you. And
what if I had an elbowed him or slapped him, did a backward slap? Then they'd have blamed me. I got the right to protect myself.
And you mentioned you had a felony.
Yeah, I got 2 felonies when I was 20-some year old, 28 or so. Somebody broke in my house talking about they looking for me. I bought my first gun, 357 Magnum, wore a holster. Him and 5 people seen me. They won't look for me no more. And then I was living with a girl. I went to the casino, stayed gone for 3-4 days. She changed the locks. I kicked the door in. They charged me with aggravated stalking. I'm like, I was aggravated, but I ain't stalking. So 2 felonies and about 12 misdemeanors. About 6 or 7 of the misdemeanors is from getting arrested and threw out of a council meeting. Yeah, I had passed the law school admission test. I was going to be a lawyer when that happened with that gun charge. When that gun charge hit me at a young age in between college and law school, I just went on and worked for General Motors for 30 years after serving my probation.
And I know you just got recently from when they took you out of the court with cuffs. I believe it was about $2,000 you got from the court.
Say that again.
You got $2,000, I believe. $2,000. I can go to the Facebook group and pull it up.
You talking about when I was wrongfully arrested?
Yeah. When they put you in the cuff.
I'm out of a council meeting. I sued them. I got about $4,000 in one case. I sued again and lost wrongfully, and I had to pay back $34,000.
Okay, so this one was recent. I feel like this one was recent, and but I have to find it. I thought I had it saved in my phone.
Man, how you got that much time to keep up with this stuff at age 17?
You would be surprised. You would be absolutely surprised because you have an entire... If
you wasn't 17, I might not even be on this show. I think I talked to you and your brother, correct?
Yes. So
so I felt somewhat compassionate.
It's a whole community of people who are just...
Okay, because I'm a big shot. I ain't got time to sit around and talk for an hour. But for you, I said, okay, I was mad. What does he want? What is going on here? All right.
Yeah, we don't want to make Mr. Mays mad. So another one of the things is people call you misogynist. And
what that mean?
Where you going against the women and you believe a man is higher.
I kind of know what it means, but I want you to say that.
And there's a clip of you. So this is where I say
Don't worry about making me mad. You can make me mad. That's your right, your prerogative. Don't treat me with no kid gloves.
We have a file. There are 67 photos and videos of you.
What?
67.
Okay.
All about just clips of you from the council meeting. And this is one of them. I'm not sure if it downloaded on here.
So if I die, I got a legacy in a library.
Oh, you definitely have a legacy in a library.
All right.
We don't need that to happen anytime soon, though.
Hopefully.
We don't need. So let me see if I can airdrop it to myself here. Yeah, there it is. It airdrops me, and let's see if we can pull it up here. And this is a view talking about the women of the Flint City Council. Short video again. Here it is.
My position is this. I'm tired of the women on this council acting a damn fool.
That sparked.
Okay, I cut on that one. That was under the old council because I can see Maurice Davis sitting to my left. That might have had, if I count them, 3, 4 women. This new council have 6 women and 3 men. And so under that old council in that particular clip, Kate Fields was a white woman who gave me the finger in a council meeting. And then Miss Galloway was a Black woman who wanted to know Robert's rules and stuff, in my opinion, better than me, and was putting me out of meetings and sharing meetings and having the police arrest me. One meeting I was trying to call to order, and they had the police arrest me before the meeting was called to order wrongfully, and so forth and so on. So after a while, if I see a trend, whether it's 3, 4 women voting together, whether it's 3, 4 whites voting together, I'll point it out. And some of them women was acting a fool, and they was dead wrong. Now, guess what's happened? When the people see that, they didn't get reelected.
Mm-hmm. So now on the reelection, you told Mr. Murphy to say your name. And when he says your name, you was going to say his twice.
3 times sometime.
3 times something. If you want to bump his head, you'll help him bump his head.
Say so what?
If you want to bump his head, you'll help them bump their heads.
Yeah, acting a fool. Because remember what he was doing. He was saying it was one council person keeping the meetings going long. And I'm saying, don't just refer to one council person in general. If you're talking about me, say my name so I can clearly know who you're saying, because that was a myth. We get 5 minutes apiece, twice on motions. The clock is the same for me, him, and everybody else. So, I just want to make it clear why I'm going to be talking about you, because you saying something. Back in the 70s, when we was in high school, we called it panning. What do y'all call it when somebody talk about you? You talk about it. Like normally in school, people laugh and joke. We called it panning. I don't know what y'all call it now.
When they talk about you, but they don't necessarily say the name?
No, when they kind of talk about you. Let's say I need a haircut, and they'll say, man, you need a haircut. And I say, your mama need a haircut. We called it panning back in the day.
We call it roasting. It's more of like
roasting. All right, I see what you're saying. Say my name so I can know whether I want to roast you.
Right. So you're everywhere. I'm getting messages right now of people already giving me quotes from what you've said. Let me go back to it. One person says, "You'll answer it your way, and I'll answer it my way." That's been clipped.
Yeah, and if I say they ignorant, they can say I'm ignorant. They can text and say, you got that ignorant council person. But if I know who they is, I'm going to say they ignorant too.
So we got another question that just came in. Why haven't they voted to condemn the CFO for his behavior before the council after him and his wife came up to the city council and disrespected the citizens of Flint?
I don't know about his wife, but if you look at those council meetings close, he's the chief financial officer. That's what CFO is. And if you understand the charter, he's a key player in giving us numbers because 5 or more votes on the council control the purse strings, millions of dollars. We set budgets, we do what we have to do. And this guy missing in action. During the budget process, him and his staff weren't there. So when he finally showed back up and I was asking him relevant financial questions, he waved his hands and took off and walked away. I went, wow. I asked what the hell he think he doing. He done walked off. I put a motion on the floor because we have subpoena power. I was ready to subpoena him and put him under oath and couldn't get the support from the majority. Now I say I have zero tolerance for him. Don't want to talk to him. He should be fired until he come back and apologize publicly because he making the big bucks. A council person we make in Flint about 500-600 every 2 weeks. The mayor makes about 5,000 every 2 weeks, 125,000 a year. We make about 22,000 a year. He making 80, 90, 100,000 a year. He got a job to do. Who the hell he think he walking away from? See, you done got me upset reminding me of that foolishness.
That's good. Well, I'm sure I'm gonna in a minute. Somebody's
Man, you killing me. You getting me upset reminding me of this foolishness.
Now I'm gonna go based off of one of your great sayings. Everyone's saying it now. When they go low,
Michelle Obama told Hillary, when they go low, we go high. Mm-hmm. Hillary got beat by Trump. My position is when a politician go low, we go lower. That's like that roasting and panning because look, if I'm in a national debate with Trump like Hillary was, and Trump looked over at Hillary and said, "You're a nasty lady," I'm gonna say, "Nasty? Look how your hair swooped. I don't even like your hairstyle. Plus, you was grabbing women. You nasty. Who the hell you think you talking to?" So that's an example. When they go low, you don't go high. You get with them. So they gonna set the narrative politically.
So you called, I believe it was the one that gave you the finger.
Kate Fields.
Kate Fields. Just nasty and slimy.
Nasty.
Just nasty.
She was nasty.
That's a term that we now use. That's a term that we're now using.
Nasty.
Just nasty.
Some private people might look at me and look at how I talk and say he nasty.
But everything is just shaped around the TikTok community, right? When this stuff goes out, everyone just gravitates to you. It's
why?
This is what we want politics. This is what we want. Everybody calls you Unc now, by the way. You're TikTok,
everybody what?
You're TikTok's uncle, if you didn't know that.
I'm listening.
You're the uncle of TikTok. So everyone on TikTok.
I'm a bad influence on y'all 17-year-olds. I better change my style.
TikTok, everything is Unc is fed up. Unc is at it again.
Unc is at it.
And it's not even just this generation. I mean, the highest is 30-year-olds and down. I mean, it's just everyone.
Tell me your name.
Patrick Pruden.
Patrick, I get calls from California, Mississippi, Texas, Arizona, Colorado, whatever going on. That'd be tripping me out. Louisiana, Ohio. I'm trying to concentrate on Flint folks, but something happened. We done kind of went nationwide.
There are Facebook groups. There are TikTok pages called Maze for President.
You kidding?
I wish I was. There are Maze for President groups. People wanting to know when you're going to be.
Man, I would love to be in that White House. They cook for you, don't they? You could have some steak, potatoes, lemonade, all of that. Man.
People are just in there saying we need to see him do stuff to Nancy Pelosi, right? Nancy Pelosi, when they get up there, you know, and they put on the little African garments and take a knee, but don't do anything about that. Just being nasty, being slimy and wild. We need someone.
If you a Democrat or a Republican or independent?
I'm a right-winged independent.
Right-wing independent. What you think I am?
We know you're a Democrat.
Am I a conservative, moderate, or liberal Democrat?
Ooh. Y'all help me out. Y'all help me out. Y'all are watching. Send me your answers. I
got my opinion.
I don't want to say progressive. Conservative, because when I first heard you, I thought you were Republican. So I'm going to go with conservative Democrat.
Maybe moderate. I don't know.
Maybe moderate. Okay, because you have Obama in the background. Obama was more of a moderate kind of conservative guy, right? So we'll kind of throw you into that realm. We know you've gotten the backlash from the Nazi salute, which
from where?
The Nazi salute.
Oh yeah, I was telling Miss Galloway that she was reminding me of a dictator. If somebody constantly wrongfully called the police on you, and the police is like the Gestapo, you know, I did get some backlash by characterizing her as that particular dictator. The lady who's in there now, I referred to her as Putin for some of her wrongdoing. You know, I'm like Ukraine. Quit trying to bomb me and just invade me and do me wrong because you sitting in a seat of power. So I guess I am guilty of using, is it called, what is you got? You got synonyms, anonyms, but whatever it is, I'm trying to show that, hey, that's who y'all remind me of. Synonyms sound the same, so it ain't a synonym, but I'm doing an analogy. It might be an anonym.
It's an analogy. So, and he apologized for it. He apologized for it. He said if it offended anybody, that's not what he meant.
That's correct. That's not the intent.
When you sent it, when you did it, right, it made its way to TikTok, and we understood. Right, we understood where you were coming from. You have the backing. And so one of the other things we see on TikTok is people wanting to know how they can help the campaign if they aren't even in Flint.
Any way, through video or any way they can communicate with the voters of the city of Flint, whether it's through my Facebook page, Eric Mays, or whatever. But the best way for us to strategize would be my cell number. You know, my cell number is public. 810 is the area code. We're in the 810, you know, and then you got 922 4860. 810-922-4860. I've turned down contributions. I ain't been spending money, but word of mouth or showing in a crowd. I don't care if you're in Texas. We support Mays for mayor and run the video. However you strategize to show support and try to influence people to vote Mays, even if it's a crowd of 8 or 12 people, and it gets up here. For people to know people support me, that's going to help me.
Right. And your name, everyone knows you when it comes to TikTok. You mentioned the name Eric Mays, and you're either going to have that person like, I know exactly what you're talking about. I like him. Or you might have someone's like, isn't that crazy man that's always yelling, right? You're always going to have your two different sides of that.
That's correct.
But when they actually look into you and look what you're doing, I actually watch the council meetings. That's something a lot of people don't do, but I actually watch them. You keep the meetings running because you're the only one that seems to know the rules. I know there was one where they were just talking, they were disorderly, and you start banging on the desk and see, we'll take a 5-minute recess, no objection. And they're like, no, well, y'all better focus. And that's the things that we're seeing and how you're getting this stuff moving, telling people they got to focus.
Calling me, but I'm not going to disrespect you and your program. I'll return that missed call.
Yeah, I see people saying, oh, that's right, you gave the number. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna open up our call-in line. So
All right.
in here, we're gonna open that up now to callers. Let me get the number. My number is 832-617-1302. If you want to call in now, you can call in 832-617-1302.
Now, who was that behind you with that red hat on that picture?
That's me. Yes.
Patrick, you're a bad dude, man.
One of the viewers made me this. It was what was it? It was a rally for 4th of July. No, it was Memorial Day. No, Veterans Day. It was Veterans Day. I went to a rally and I made a video. I was at the rally and someone took a piece of it and they kind of made like.
Oh, that's nice. So yeah, I'm sitting in my city council office. So
now I'm gonna have okay, I need somebody to clip that. Eric Mays called me a bad dude. I don't care what anybody says about me anymore.
Patrick, you're a bad dude, boy. 17.
That's all I need. That's all I need. Somebody said, what's the number? The number is 832-617-1302.
Hey, guess who I was in the dormitory with when I was at Michigan State?
I don't know who this could be. I need a hint.
Irvin Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson.
Yeah, guess who came to Flint to help us during the water crashes and we took pictures and stuff? Irvin Magic Johnson. That's like how y'all thought about me. That's my main man. Well, I like him, you know, he bigger than me. I see him and talk every now and then, but that's what you was reminding me of when I say, you're a bad dude, Patrick.
All right, we got our.
I used to play football at Michigan State. I was a walk-on wide receiver. I didn't get a lot of action, but I was there.
You're on the show.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I just want Mr. Mays to know that he has a very strong TikTok community. The TikTok account that I run, where I post the clips, almost has 10,000 followers, almost there. One of his videos that went viral on TikTok has over 1 million views.
A billion?
A million.
A million? I was going to say a billion.
Continue.
It has 1.3 million. That's not on my account. That's on another gentleman's account. But every single clip I post has over 20,000 each and every day. I just posted one yesterday of company saying, "Go to Toys R Us."
Oh, I know. Where is he calling from?
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Dallas, Texas.
Dallas,
God
Texas.
bless you.
Right.
I told them they want to play. I'll be 64. If they want to play around, go to Toys R Us. That's an old one, yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah. I just want advice from Mr. Mays. How, if a younger person can run for office, how would they start?
How would a younger person do what?
How would they start their political career? How can they start?
What I did, once I had got elected, and you don't have to get elected as third vice president at NAACP, the president assigned me to attend city council meetings. So in Flint, when I would go to city council meetings and go home, I realized that most of the stuff that happened in city council meetings ended up in the newspaper or on the news. So I got hooked. I would go to city council meetings when I was about 21, and then I would make statements and see my name and picture in the news, and that kind of got me hooked. So I started my political career by first attending and looking and then speaking during public comment. And when I made the news and got an understanding, that kind of turned me out. So I would encourage young people to first attend the meetings, look at them, and then speak up on issues. And some of it, after I heard it, I would go in front of City Hall and protest. And next thing you know, I was just a local political figure.
Mr. Mason know that he does have a large, younger community that watches him, and we just like how relatable he is to us. And I appreciate everything he's doing for Flint and everything that he's going to do for Flint. I wish him the best in his mayoral campaign.
Hey, I appreciate it. Feel free to call me sometime, 810-922-4860. God bless us all. We in touch.
Thanks for calling in.
God
God bless
bless you.
you. 1.3 million views. And he said that's not even the most.
So I can say I know at least I done got 1 million views before I might be accurate when I say that. Ain't that something?
You have over 1 million views.
Yeah, I had to put the phone up to my ear. I could hear most of what he was saying. But I like your show, Patrick. I was like tripping. I'm like, why is this guy calling me? What is the show? I'm in the middle of the election. I'm busy as a bee, but you can see I've been laughing, enjoying myself.
We're enjoying it. We are surely enjoying it. I want to dive into the where is it? The grass, right? There was a thing about the grass, and the guy went on and said we cut the grass whenever it gets above like a feet, 1 foot, and then they started posting these photos about on these Facebook groups. That's like, okay, where is this though? Where are they going to cut the grass? So when is the solution going to come? Do you think that maybe hiring private business would even be better than using the current people?
Yeah, you got to understand, when General Motors was at its peak in Flint, we had about 11 General Motors plants. We had 80,000 people working in the General Motors plants, and the payroll would drop every Thursday or Friday, and the economy for our small town had one of the highest incomes per capita for a town its size. And so once General Motors moved out, we had abandoned houses and a lot of blight and grass. And so that's the grass that I'm referring to at those abandoned houses. It's like hayfields. Look like a third world country. And it's like groundhogs and stuff running, and I get calls. So we're sitting on 74 million of COVID relief fund, and that money qualifies. So we got a lot of people with zero turns and riding around, but in government, you have to put a bid out. You do a request for proposal, put a bid out, and then the lowest bidder. But I'm trying to introduce an emergency ordinance, because, it'll be winter in Michigan after a while. Y'all don't get the snow we get down there in Texas. So I'm trying to move this council and this administration. Let's make Flint look good. Let's let independent private contractors, I don't care if it's 100 or 200 of them, pay them $100 a lot to cut these weeds. Look like hayfields. I could duck down in them weeds and you couldn't find me for 3 days. So that's what I'm referring to, the weeds and the grass.
I'm going to lean back. Someone sent in this photo just now of Mr. Mays.
That's during COVID. I had let my hair grow out. I would braid my hair. That's during COVID. There wasn't no barbers or nothing. I used to have a big afro in the 70s. I had French braids. So if you got that picture, they said that's the COVID-19 no haircut picture.
So people are sending in stuff right now. And right now, I gotta say, this is probably one of the most interaction we've had with a show. This is one of the most.
No, that's good, Patrick.
Right, so we thank you for that. So we're gonna put that in the background.
Hey, who is that handsome guy behind you?
Right,
who is that guy looking over?
So we know there's a little bit less than 20 days left of the mayor campaign. A little less than 20 days. So,
okay,
what's it looking like so far?
It's really hard for me to tell. You got the incumbent mayor, Naturally, people think he might make it to the primary, but a lot of people saying he ain't really did nothing. Then you got the lady mayor who was there before him, who he beat, and I think she did a better job doing the water crisis and that type of thing. And then you got me spending no money, talking, asking for votes, and people like, Mays, I vote for you. Kind of like what you're talking about on TikTok and just recognition. You go in the store locally, Mays, can I take a picture with you? Yeah, and all that laughing and talking. So really, I can't call it. I'm comfortable with my word of mouth campaign so far, but that hasn't been done in the history of the city of Flint.
Well, speaking of word of mouth, we just got a message. Someone in Puerto Rico says to tell you that they love you in Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico, I hope it's a lady. I mean, but if a man loved me too, you got more than one kind of love. You got brotherly love, women love, but I tell Puerto Rico I love them too. We love Puerto Rico as well.
So Puerto Rico is watching. Look at, we're reaching. So we got Dallas, we got Texas, we got Arkansas, we got Puerto Rico. People are just sending in love right now. This is amazing. So I got a other question. Let's see. Let me scroll back down to the other guy here.
Because we got about 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes, Patrick. I got to run.
So how old were you during the protesting in front of City Hall and when you started doing all that?
Probably about 19, 21.
19 or 20. Okay.
Yeah, 20, 19 years old, 20, 21, more like 21. After I come back from Michigan State, I graduated high school in 76. My degree is political science, pre-law. And then I graduated after 5 years in 1981. So I probably was 20, 21 years old or something like that.
So we have about 5 minutes left. We're going to let you go ahead and do, your last few words. We're going to show that video from earlier real quick, and then we can get on out of here.
My last words would be, I sure didn't feel like taking time doing no podcast or whatever you call this. But now that I done did it, I'm smiling, I'm laughing, I enjoyed it. And I hope sometime in the future, maybe you'll have me back. I'll try not to, I'll try to be on my best behavior.